Blue Bloods is an extremely iconic series, meaning that it's got a very dedicated fan base. We now live in an era where people are obsessed with television and want to know every single thing about the characters and, of course, the actors. It's the idea of fandom, something that even universities are discussing in their film and television degrees. Fandom is the idea of being integrated into a series or film, and in today's case, that, of course, is the world of Blue Bloods. It's a really interesting concept, as people are a part of this sort of thing without even realizing it.
Remember how we caught the son of Sam, Francis?
It was a parking ticket.
Ted Bundy got caught running the stop sign.
Following the Twitter account to keep up with information, following the actors, and of course, keeping up with trailers and teasers for upcoming episodes.
How about we talk about Nikki's new cop boyfriend?
Sean.
That's what you said?
It's fine. I know it's the elephant in the room.
Without even realizing it, the majority of the people who watched the series are deeply in the idea of fandom, and it's really cool.
Okay, this is why I don't tell you guys anything. We're not getting married. We're not getting tattoos. We're dating, as you old people call it.
There's so much that comes out of it, from creating a dedicated fan base that allows the series to keep going, to talk about how to make the series better.
If I had it to do over again, you'd still be a cop. You're right. I loved every minute of it.
The best directors and showrunners look at this fandom and base the show around the fans. Look at something like The Flash, for example. The showrunners looked at the audience and changed the series because of the outcry about certain storylines. Maybe the fans wanted more of a certain character, so they pushed forward the actor into better parts of the series. There are other examples, such as maybe they didn't like a villain, so they toned down how that villain was acting in the season. It's a really interesting thing, but even though there are a lot of upsides, there are still a lot of downsides to it as well. Blue Bloods is a perfect example of this, as its fan base is very dedicated due to how long the series has been running. It's such an iconic series with a myriad of characters that people either love or hate. The vast majority of people love basically any character in the series, but there are a good few characters that people truly hate. One of these being Acosta. Acosta is a very divisive character, as people either love or hate them. Blue Bloods introduced a new love interest for Danny Reagan, that being Detective Linda Acosta. This doesn't seem like the worst thing in the world, but their relationship sparked a lot of buzz in the fandom. There were all of the shippers that were disappointed that their favorite couple had been dealt another blow, as Danny was supposedly set to get with Baez. Shipping is another thing we really need to talk about, as it plays heavily into why people really hate Acosta right now. Shipping is a term used in fan bases where they pair two characters together as they want them to get into a relationship. The crazy thing is that a lot of the time these characters do get into a relationship, but when they don't, the fans get angry. It could be a relationship that people didn't even expect, or one of the writers didn't even expect to create either. It's a very weird thing, and there's a thin line when it comes to showrunners for a series, as they sometimes want to appeal to the fandom, but don't want to compromise their characters by adhering to the ships. In this case, the showrunners did not adhere to the ships, and instead created a whole new love interest for Danny Reagan. This infuriated the fan base and made them hate Acosta even more. The craziest thing as well is that even if you want a shipper, the way Acosta was introduced into the series didn't even make sense. The general viewers of the series who aren't integrating into the fandom don't like Acosta as well because of how they appeared in the series. After all, a good story is what truly matters in a series like Blue Bloods, as its long run is due to how good the stories have been. Blue Bloods is not only undermining its most popular pairing, but it is also ruining its own story in the process. process. Who knows though, maybe Acosta is actually a better choice for Danny. But there is only one way for fans to find out. We looked at social media to see what the fan outcry about Acosta was really like, as many people seem very divisive on if they like her or not. One user on Reddit said that unlike previous potential love interests like Maggie Gibson, Faith Madsen, and of course Baez, we've seen basically nothing that really reveals the current dynamic and chemistry between Acosta and Danny. I guess the fan base has pointed out that the writers have seemingly just shoved Acosta in there without actually creating a good dynamic between the two. There is no chemistry between them, and from a fan perspective, it's like the character in this relationship was just thrown at us without much thought or preparation at all. To fans, it seems really lazy, ham-handed, and of course, sloppy. This is really annoying as well, because Blue Bloods is known for its phenomenal writing. This is one of the best written shows on television right now. According to fans as well though, the problem is not that their original ship couple has been ruined, but it's the fact that the show keeps finding ways to keep those two away from each other. From a fan perspective, it looks like the writers are purposely moving these characters away from each other to try and destroy the fandom even more. This whole Acosta relationship just seems so out of left field, as we've never seen them interact. She's never been mentioned, and it just seems weird, you know? The fans don't have a problem with the actress or the character, as she seems pretty okay. But overall, it shows the dumb relationship to throw in. After all, the romantic tension between Danny and Baez is one of the reasons why people are still watching the show and keep interested in the fandom. They really hope these two get together in the future, and maybe that's what this relationship with the Acosta is leading up to. Maybe it's a sort of rebound thing for the fan base to get annoyed, so they feel even more satisfied when their iconic duo finally get together. I guess we'll have to keep watching Blue Bloods to stay in the loop and find out what happens next. However, fans are saying that they might stop watching the series as those who are rooting for the duo to get together are getting annoyed. They are saying that it felt like an attack against the fan base, as they have been waiting for years for these two to get together. Honestly though, we are sure that the writers care about the fan base and what relationships they want to see, but maybe they wanted to do a different storyline for once. Writers like to write what they want to write, but they don't want to adhere to the fan base every single time they put something on a page. It can get frustrating, as they do want to adhere to the fan base, but don't want to be dictated by them. They still want to create a vision, and if that creative vision still leads to the thing the fans want, then what's the problem with it? I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens with Blue Bloods as the series goes on. Maybe Danny and Baez finally get together? Who knows? But let us know in the comments section below what you thought about today's video and why you actually hate Acosta in the first place. We'd love to find out. We hope you enjoyed the video.